Welcome back to Modern Homestead, Alaska. Today is something we have been waiting on since almost the very beginning of the Every Bit Counts challenge. I have been waiting for some stuff to come in from Amazon. Something happened to the box. We didn't get everything we needed, so we're gonna have to move on without it. But I am going to begin the process. It won't be done today because it has to dry overnight, but we're going to start the cheese waxing process today. Won't you join me? Welcome to our vlog. We are the Milnes family. We started building a modern homestead outside of Wasilla, Alaska in the summer of 2021. That's my husband, Aaron. I am Jessica, a stay-at-home wife and mom. Our second son, Caleb, lives here with us, along with our daughter, Cody Ann, and the youngest of our family, Wyatt. We brought our two dogs, Tipper and Daisy, and got a new addition, the Alaska dog, Roberto. Okay, so the first couple of cheeses is a while back, I got this sharp cheddar from Costco. Let's look at the expiration. It's still all the way in 2023, 1 of 2023. So long time on the expiration of that. I got this mozzarella in our most recent Azure order. You can check that out in the playlist, but I'll also link the Azure video. And I already opened it because we've used some of it, but we're going to do the mozzarella. So we're gonna start with these. One of the things I didn't get from Amazon was I ordered several other cookie racks, you know, the cooling racks, the drying racks. And I wanted to be able to do a whole bunch at one time. So we're just gonna experiment and learn it together. And then off camera, I'll go and do my whole cheese refrigerator. I did get some of the blocks of wax. This will be tomorrow that we wax the cheese. It has to dry at room temperature, but I'll show you all of that. And then I got a tiny crock pot. So I've seen everyone do it, and I haven't actually seen it done in the crock pot, but they have double broilers and some other things. I don't want the wax in one of my good pans. I don't want to try and clean that up. So I just got an $11 little crock pot that has a low setting that we can melt the wax tomorrow and dip it in. The wax is reusable. If you take the wax off of the cheese, you can wash that and you can remelt it and re-wax your cheese. So it is a good thing to just keep it in the pot and remelt and remelt and remelt. So that's gonna be great. And then the other thing, I have a lot of questions on why waxing cheese. Well, what we're looking for here, the reason we want to figure this out is essentially depending on the cheese and the temperature. So we're not talking out in a pantry where there's no air conditioning in South Texas. Obviously the heat in that home would be too high, but here where I live, or if you have a very temperature controlled area, a root cellar, anything of that nature, you could wax cheese and keep it at room temperature for 6 months to a year. So what we're doing to try to beat inflation is we're buying the cheese at current nowadays prices, a year's worth of cheese, and then we're waxing that cheese. I have a refrigerator until we can build some sort of root cellar or cold storage or something like that. I have a refrigerator for it. However, there's a lot of people that keep it in a pantry that's around 70 degrees year round. They just keep the cheese in a storage container or some other different things. So we're going to learn this, like I said, together. We may have some hiccups and some failures along the way. We'll work through those things together. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest if it's a terrible idea, it didn't work, whatever the case may be, or if it's the most wonderful answer. Why not just freeze the cheese? That's another question that I get. when you freeze cheese, which I'm totally fine with most of the time, you've seen in my deep freeze, I have cheese in there. So one of the things is I do try to stay away from already shredded cheese. Oftentimes it's more expensive per ounce than a block of cheese. Second of all, there's a coating, and it may be something so simple as like a cornstarch or whatever that's on the cheese that keeps the cheese from clumping together. But I don't want that in my delicious melty cheese that I'm gonna put in, say, like a macaroni and cheese or something like that. I don't want that agent in there. The other thing is when you shred up your cheese after it's been frozen, is it crumbles apart. Because essentially what happens when you freeze things is the water separates from whatever it is. So like zucchini is such a good example. When you freeze zucchini and you pull it out, it's separated the zucchini from the water in such a major way. Cheese doesn't give that same major appearance. However, when the water separates in the cheese and you go to just grate it up, or you want like beautiful slices for a deli tray and you're presenting it to not just your household or something like that, the cheese doesn't work well that way. So you want to find a method that doesn't take up freezer space, that can be used without electricity and the cheese doesn't go bad, that is a long-term storage method for the cheese, and then something where we have as close or as similar of a product as the day we put it up to the day we open it 6 months or a year later. The difference between the cheeses is going to be 6 months to a year is they are going to be sharper. Now, I bought a sharp cheddar at Costco. I didn't buy a sharp cheddar from Azure. The reason I bought a sharp cheddar at Costco is that's the cheese we prefer. We prefer a sharp cheddar. So mild cheddar is going to, over time, become more like a sharp cheddar. So the sharper you want the cheese, start out sharper. And then the most mild you want the cheese, start out with the most mild cheese that you can. So a mozzarella isn't going to become like a sharp cheddar. So now that I've talked your head off, let's get into how you do day one of waxing cheese. Okay, so here's the setup, and like I said, we're experimenting, so we're only gonna do this mozzarella that would not fit in one bag, so what a waste, and this sharp cheddar. I have one sharp knife here, I have several others in the drawer, some clean paper towels, and some distilled white vinegar. This is a fresh bottle, I just opened it the other day, but we wanna use enough white vinegar, but it's gotten really expensive. I would say it's super cheap, but that would be a lie nowadays. So what we want to do is have a nice clean surface. And so I am gonna put a clean paper towel and just make sure my cutting board here, put a little vinegar on there. We got a little vinegar on our hands, little vinegar on our knife. Use our wet paper towel. Let's do this side. These are just stained. So, all right. We don't want our cheese to slide around. So we're gonna pull out our mozzarella, and because we've already, this has a little bit of ice on it. My little refrigerator gets cold. So we're gonna just cut off that chunk anyway. It's not gonna go to waste, we're gonna use it. So let's get this open. Now the expiration date on this, cut in half. 2022. So it's a short expiration date. It's October of 2022. We're in August. And so the mozzarella doesn't have a long expiration, and we're gonna extend that by doing this method here. So we're going to basically clean the cheese so that we don't have any bacteria or anything growing on the cheese, but let's decide on a size. How should we cut the mozzarella? What if I did it like this? Now when you're cutting the big knife like this, get a good hold on it and keep up, and keep those fingers pointed up as high as you can. Don't wrap around. Okay, that's 2. All right. So now I have 4 chunks of mozzarella. I was just making sure what you could see. And then this is the white vinegar. So we are gonna check, there is no mold, there's nothing growing on it. And we are going to completely dip this mozzarella cheese in the vinegar. And then we're going to put it over here to completely dry overnight. If you can stand it up, that's better. And then we're gonna come along and blot it off as it starts to dry, and it's going to give off some oils as it does. And then we are going to just let her sit and get super dry, and we'll be ready to wax this tomorrow. So let's get the rest of this done. Okay, I went and got a new roll of paper towels. Now, I don't like to use paper towels, but in an instant like this, where we just want it to be as clean and sanitary as possible, we're going to use paper towels. So we're gonna just wrap it. We don't want any gnats or flies or bugs to be able to get in here. And so I'm actually gonna move this. It's been super warm the last couple of days, and that is beautiful. So I'm not going to be using the wood stove in the next 24 to 48 hours. So I'm actually gonna move it over to the stove. No big deal, I don't need to show you that. But it'll be able to just rest over there and be undisturbed. So I'm just gonna do some more paper towels this direction, and just make sure that it is air drying, but that nothing can easily get to it. And then we'll get back to this cheese tomorrow afternoon when we get home from Caleb's eye doctor appointment, which everything is fine. They just wanna make sure and dilate and all the fun jazz. So we gotta run to Anchorage tomorrow, but when we get home, we are going to wax this cheese. So make sure you tune in for the next episode after this one. You can do that by subscribing and hitting that bell. That bell will give you notifications saying that I post the video, and it helps YouTube kind of make sure that my videos are at the top if you're waiting for something to happen in this series. So go ahead and do that now if you haven't, and ring that bell if you haven't, and then you will be able to follow along. Worst case, go to the playlist, and then they should be in order of the date that I posted them. So anywho, let's see what else we can get done. I wanted to give you an update on the green tomatoes that we pulled off the vine. When they hit the red mark and they are ripe, I just put them in a freezer bag and pop them in the freezer, whether it's 1 at a time or 10 at a time, it doesn't really matter. And then we'll make salsa or tomato sauce or whatever the case is after all the tomatoes are ripe. So remember, we have all of our bags. hoping that, there you go. So see, they're doing beautifully. Getting close. So I just check on them. Let's do another bag. Look at the size of those. And I just kind of rummage through and see this one has to go. For some reason, I didn't know that was on there, but I don't want it spoiling the rest. So I just go through all the bags every day, make sure that something doesn't need to be tossed, or if something is ripe, we then go ahead and freeze it. So I thought you would be interested. I can take you out and show you in the garden. It is weird that pulling some of these off, my tomato plants are actually doing better. I'll show you that. You guys, this is day 2 of the sun like this and the colors, but I want you to notice here where I live, you see the leaves are starting to change, and this will happen in the blink of an eye. Literally, we will go from this to full-blown fall mode, and it flies by. But everything is thriving. I did spray those, but everything is thriving now that it's not wet all the time. Look at all those tiny little, those are not bumblebees, but they are some sort of bee. Remember when I trimmed this back? Look at the parsley now, my chives, the mint, and the lemon balm. These are some beautiful greens that I just throw in maybe a pot of something. A little bit of dill, beautifully. So one of my rhubarbs, I went ahead and sprayed this because something attacked it as well. And I'm just using some Dawn dish soap, so not an actual chemical on them. And these two, they're doing great, they're fine, but they're not doing clearly as well as that guy. We don't want to pull anything off of the rhubarb right now because we want it to protect itself over winter, and because this is their first year, I might even put some hay or straw over the top of them to help protect them this first winter here in Alaska. But let me show you how much better the tomatoes are doing. Okay, everything is still, that guy's getting bigger every day. Still looking beautiful. The sunshine is great. That's getting close. I wish they would grow Brussels sprouts. But look at that. Look how green and vibrant some of these have gotten with the sunshine. See, someone's attacking them. But, oh my goodness, look at this one. Like, they went from looking kind of sickly. Look at this. Like, he's doing so much better. Just giving us some life. So, I know that these are a tomato that continues to grow. Keep in mind, we are about to have our first frost. So we do not have enough warm, sunny days ahead of us that these will actually put on new fruit. So the fruit that is there is what we're trying to rescue, if you will. But look at the color of green. These are doing so well now. A little bit of sunshine. But I think I saw red. Well, it's starting to. Yep, let me steal you. See this one? Like the whole bottom is full of ones that fell off. But look, a couple of them are starting to look. Anywho, better. Here we go. Beautiful. Oh, see? Dang it. Anyway, so that's the update. I think this broccoli's ready. This one I can pull. He's close. But look at my little yellow cauliflower. I love it. And then I came over here yesterday. I went on a scavenger hunt. Cauliflower. And there are, look at that. Look at that tiny little cauliflower in there. So there's lots of those. And we do think we have enough cool temperatures, but still enough daylight that we may get some cauliflowers off of here. The cabbages, I started pulling a few that, like this, for instance, is not gonna grow a cabbage in time. So I like to snip them and give them to the chickens. They really, really like it. And there's so much goodness in here that it's free food. This is so beautiful though. Look at that. Isn't that the prettiest thing? So amazing. Yeah, so I did do a little bit of the dawn because but the potatoes should be done anytime now. But oh my gosh, I've only read or seen videos about this, never seen it in person. But look at this one potato plant grew potato seeds. Now my understanding, these are poisonous. Do not eat those. Whatever you do, those are poisonous. However, that is an actual potato seed, not a seed potato. Another coolest thing, seriously, for our very first garden ever, see how it's all starting to die back? That means we're about to be able to harvest some potatoes. Not quite time yet. We're gonna let these go all the way to the very first frost. Oh no, look. He's still so firm. Bottom is almost red. That guy's turning. So, man, we're gonna be able to pick that this week. This gave us one zucchini, but if you remember, I killed this and I cut it back all the way to just the stem. It didn't have a single leaf on it. Isn't that crazy? Not one leaf. And it still grew me a cucumber that we ate. And then my jalapenos with a little bit of extra sunshine, look, they're really popping out there. We're gonna be able to get a few more beautiful jalapenos before fall hits. Oh, are those looking good, guys? They're looking good. So I think it's okay. It's okay that we pulled tomatoes and trimmed them back. Yeah. All right, let's go back in. I would normally be embarrassed to not show you guys, but here's the truth. I forgot about these since Wednesday. It is what it is. I just forgot about them, but I'm shocked that I did take all the tips off, but I lost maybe 6 whole green beans out of all of it. And so this is the point of every bit counts. Like, this is just the few green peppers that we pulled out of my garden. They were still good. This is the beans we got at the farmer's market. I'm just gonna continue to just grab stuff out of my fridge that we can figure out a way to process and try and waste no more and see what we can throw in the freezer. I think I'm gonna bag this green beans into 2 bags actually, because I really think they would be so yummy this winter in either like a pasta dish or a warm salad. Like sometimes we like to do salad with potatoes and warm green beans and those things. But I also think like a stew of like hearty vegetables, you know, green beans and corn and carrots and all of those lovely things. And so I think I'm gonna do 2 bags on these, but I'm gonna blanch them. You've seen me blanch before. Hot salty water into crisp cold water. It only takes a couple of minutes. and then pop them in the freezer. I literally just blew my own mind today. When I was doing some stuff, I was watching Jessica's video from Three Rivers Homestead, who started this whole Every Bit Counts challenge herself. And she's like, if you literally just do a little bit, it totally adds up in the freezer. So I pulled out everything that I had packaged up today, got ready, and getting ready to head down to the deep freeze. And I am shocked at the amount of things that are actually going into my freezer. You just watched me finish all of these vegetables up. I went and grabbed a couple of the broccolis out of the garden so that I had enough to do like 2 bags for the freezer. And I'm like, it's not these giant harvests, but let me show you. So this is 2 of the banana breads. My family literally, of the 5 we did, my family ate 2 of them yesterday and today. They took them to school and stuff. I pre-freeze these. I got these sliced this morning. So these are the jalapeno bacons. No, I have not tried it yet. We're trying it tonight. These are all pepper bacon. These all go in my my sealer that's still down in the basement. You and I just did all of these vegetables together. The broccolini, the 2 things of just, these are kind of a banana pepper and a green chili, 2 things of green beans, and these are out of my garden as well. And all of this is about to head down, excuse me, sheesh, that's rude. All this is headed down to my deep freeze today. So, I mean, every bit counts. Like, I didn't feel like I had done much at all today. We have the cheese getting ready, but holy, that is a lot of food going into the freezer, even when I felt like I really didn't accomplish much. So there you go, every bit counts. Thank you, those of you that joined me all the way to the end to see how our day ended up. It is beautiful out. I have really just enjoyed the scenery and the beauty and the sunshine and being outside and all of those things. I've enjoyed my time with you as well. It motivated me to get up and get a few things done, squirrel away, put a few things in the freezer. That adds up to be a lot, actually. So thank you for joining me. If you're new around here, like I said earlier, if you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, you get notifications. When you give us thumbs up and you leave comments in the comment section, that actually helps the YouTube algorithm and our channel actually grows. If you are new around here, hi, hello, I'm Jessica. Nice to meet you. If you'll drop your name or location or anything you want to tell me about yourself in the comment section, I would like to say hello back to you as well. If you guys will tell me what you worked on today, what did you squirrel away, what have you been doing throughout this challenge, and let's lift each other up. Let's be kind and courteous and cheer each other on as we close out this month stronger than we started it. Last but not least, I hope that you're blessed. I hope that you find some blessings in your day and that you find some things to be thankful for, no matter where you're at or what is going on around you. Let's join together. We're one team. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.